Hey everyone, hope you are enjoying our previous classes. So today we are going to learn about prompt engineering, how to design a prompt and basic prompt method. So stay connected and enjoy our session.
From our previous sessions, we studied uh, regarding the product, how the product developed happened, the product life cycle. Then we study how to develop the product. Then we study that with the data, we can predict the future and we can predict what the answer can be for a question. And slowly, a new era is started after AI, that is we call the generative AI. And in generative AI, we create new content which are not exist related to the text, image, music, code, all these things we can generate from the machine. Now, all these are uh, behind that, there is a machine learning algorithms, and through those algorithms, we are developing the models, and through the models, we are generating the new content. Now, when we are generating the new content, we have to say something to the machine, like we are human beings, we have brain and we know what need to be done. So we can imagine. So whatever we are imagining, we have to say that to the system. So the system can generate based on our input. So the art of saying or communicating with the computer creates a new area of engineering, and we call that prompt engineering. So prompt engineering, you can see when there is two segment in all Gen AI. One is prompt engineering, other one is data preparation. So in first phase, we have to give some prompts or we have to give some information to the machine. Then the machine, based on those information, prepare the data. Okay. Now, if we go through the exact definition of prompting, prompting means you are giving something to activate. Okay. So Gen AI model interact with the users primarily through the textual input. So you have to give some textual input. The text means, that's English type language input where the user provides a prompt to the model to accomplish a task. So what exactly we want to complete, we have to give that information on to the model to do that task. So the prompt can range from a simple question to a complex problem, or some data also you can give and ask to the model to do some particular task, or any kind of statement or vague statement where based on that the model has to develop something which we are expecting. Okay. So prompting is like your 50% job done in generative AI. If you know correct prompting, so 50% of job is done. Now, what exactly a prompt is? The prompt is instructions, context, input data, or output indicators. These four elements in a prompt is always there. And if you are a very smart prompt engineer, you also refinement loops you always use. Why refinement loops? Now, every time when you get the output, each time you need to refine to improve the quality of the output. So refinement loops you can use. Now, what is the instruction? What instructions are written for someone who needs to know how to do something. So if I'll ask, like if you take the example of any pet, we are trained them, then we can ask, particularly the army dogs, they know exactly what they are instructed. You will ask them, okay, go and find a explosive, they can go and find that based on their intelligence. Similarly, if we want something from a machine, we have to give a particular instruction to the machine. And based on that instruction, the machine starts behaving. Okay. So prompting is having multiple elements. And the second element is context. So based on which area, okay, based on which external information or additional information you are looking to get or appreciate the output. Third is element of input data. Now, if you do want to analyze between huge amount of the data, you have to give the input for the data. And based on the input data, you can ask to the machine to do the analysis or give us the results. The last element of the output indicator, which specific type of format of the output. So you have to ask, okay, if you are doing coding, you can ask the machine, I need the code based on C language, or I need recording based on Python language. The machine understand and generate the code and give to you. So all these four elements are necessary in any prompt. Now, if I ask what exactly is prompting and why it is necessary, okay. Now the answer is very simple. Even if a pet dog who get trained by human beings, if we are not able to give them a right input, let it be there is a theft happen in somebody's house and the dog squad is there, okay, and they found some handkerchief of the thief, okay, and they show to the dog. The dog smell that handkerchief and go in a way and find somebody, but that person handkerchief is not the correct one, right? So what it happened that it will not able to catch the thief. It will catch somebody who is not guilty, he is innocent. So that means if you give wrong input, your output will be wrong, even if in case of a trained dog. Similarly, in case of the machine also, if your quality of input is wrong, like you want to get a code in Python and you ask the machine to generate a code in C, so it will not give you the right answer. So the quality of your input determines the quality of your output. Next is prompt engineering is a process of designing the effective prompts. Now, this whole area of prompt engineering, which is very uh, like these days, this is the hot cake. Now, this is to design the effective prompts. Okay. And a prompt engineer builds prompts in a way that gets the best result from a large language model. Now, I didn't explain you what is a large language model, but understand when there are huge amount of the data and you are trying to get some output, you need to give very quality inputs. Your questions should be very sharp. Then only you will get the correct output or results. If you take the example of any reporter, the let it be there are ministers, there are officers. The reporter has to ask very sharp and accurate questions, and then only they can get the right answers. Okay. And it should be very efficient because when you are asking something, you have to understand what exactly your target, your goal is. Based on that, you will get the answer or the result. Okay. Now, after prompting, after the elements of the uh, prompt, so what would be the definition of prompt? Nowadays, prompt, it involves human writing. That means like English type of language or any language, human writing, refining and optimizing prompts in a structured way. Okay. This is done with the intention of perfectioning the interaction between the humans and AI to the highest degree of possible. So if we do good prompting, we'll get efficient result. If we get efficient result, our time will be less and we'll get the result easily. So design a prompt is an iterative process that requires experimentation to achieve desired results. Okay. Start with simple prompts and add more elements and context to the optimize the results. Use OpenAI coherence prompt building tools as a starting point. So if you want to start your prompting, you have to do all this stuff. Versioning your prompt is important to track progress and improvements. Break down the large tasks into simple subtasks and build upon them as you achieve better results. So these are the simple tips to develop a simple prompt. So you all are into large model set like chat GPT. So you always using the questions. To know those questions when you are using, you can use those. Now, what is a precise instruction? Now, it will be very specific that you will call this precise instruction. As we know from the definition, use the command like write, classify, summarize, translate, order, which are very key words in English type language to instruct the model on a desired result. Experiment with variations, like if you want to get some specific result, you have to give specific instructions or keywords related to what you are trying to get or context and data to find the best results. Okay. The more specific and relevant the context is to the task, the better the result is. Okay. So the keyword is specific. You have to use specific relevant context. Then your task will be resolved easily. Place instruction at the beginning of the prompt and use clear separators to distinguish the instructions and context. For example, you are trying to get some particular output like 4 plus 4 equals to 8 or 8 plus 8 equals to 15. So you have to use the specific symbol like plus. Similarly, if you want to get some report, some result, you have to be very specific. So be specific is the key word here. Be specific and detail about the instructions and tasks you want the model to perform for better output. Providing examples in the prompt can be effective to get desired output in the specific format. Consider the length of the prompt as there are limitations on the length. If you put a very big story kind of input, it is not correct. So the large language model break down that it will take a lot of time to break and give you the answer. So be specific, be a short sentence or the question should be very good to complete your task. Avoid including unnecessary details and focus on relevant details that contribute to the task. Experiment with prompts to find the optimal level of specificity and details. So we'll do some experiment and let's see how it uh, works. So let's try to identify some good leaders. Okay, that is our objective. Our objective is to identify good leaders. So I can ask, please share. I'm putting please. If you don't want, you should not put. Please share some um, world leader name. Now, here you can see I put some. I didn't put how many leaders I am looking for. So let's see how much the prompt is doing. So it's saying that, okay, world leader, United States, Joe Biden, Germany, Olaf Scholz, Narendra Modi, Xi Jinping, United Kingdom. So it gives me 10 leaders' name from different countries. But I don't know. I'm looking some good leaders from Asia. Okay, I can specify that. So I am not putting world leader. So again, it will go to history. You can see. So it is giving all these world leaders which are related to current time and from 10 different countries. But all are political leaders. I need some spiritual leader. So I am looking for spiritual leader. So now I'm specific. I'm looking for spiritual leaders from where? From Asia. Okay, how many spiritual leaders? I'm looking for 10 spiritual leaders. Or if you want, you can put 15 spiritual leaders. So it will extract 15 spiritual leaders from Asia. So it started with Dalai Lama, Then Buddhism from Think Tank Tang, Sri Ravi Shankar, Sadhguru, Amma Bhagwan, Mirza Masood Ahmad, and finally it go to the history also. It find out somebody from Bhakti Vedant Swami Prabhupada. So what exactly you are seeing? So Chat GPT-4, it is whatever the instruction we are giving, based on that instruction, it is giving you the output. So if I'm looking somebody from specifically from Asia, I have to give the geography. If I want to take some numbers, I have to give some numbers to them. So this is what we call the specific process in a prompting. So that means we have to be always specific what exactly we are looking as a result. Avoid using negative instructions also. Okay. So negative instructions are, I'm not giving you the example, but yeah, there are negative instructions which are always keep the prompt confused, and the prompt cannot be give you the exact result. Using the positive instruction help the generate more specific and detailed response for the model. Communicate with the model as clearly as possible to ensure the message is effectively conveyed. Now, as we are entered into prompt engineering, so I have expectations that everybody has Python in their systems. So everybody has Python in your systems. Install all the GPT libraries if you are able to. Install the OpenAI GPT-3 API commands, and you can install that through pip install OpenAI. So that's the instruction. And then pip install transformers. So all this stuff you can install in your system, in your Python. And if you know Python, so you know all these libraries as well, PyTorch, NumPy, scikit-learn, SciPy, TensorFlow, Pandas, and Thenor. Okay, so these are the libraries or frameworks which are useful for different areas of understanding. Like PyTorch is easy to learn, work with, making it a good option for beginners to start the algorithms. It has a intuitive, user-friendly design that gives its level of flexibility that no voice prompt engineers will love. So that means with prompting, we are slowly moving towards the coding. So whatever the project we set, slowly you understand how to ask those code to the generative AI. And generative AI will generate that codes, so we can use those codes in our framework to complete our project, right? So just do these installations if you not, and start studying about Python. So mostly our session is generative AI session, but we'll go through Python's only how you can improve yourself by learning Python. We are not teaching you Python, but it is mostly required. So I believe all of you know Python. So the concept of the Python basic syntaxes and types of condition variables, which is step one, basic stuff. Then you know looping functions, built-in functions. Then how to integrate all these datas like list, tuple, set, directories. Then how to use the OOPS concept, and then slowly move the advanced all these uh, regressions and your lambdas and all these what we call libraries. Then module interaction will start and advanced library put into. Then slowly we'll proceed towards to building the application using the Python. Now, as we are studying Gen AI, we have to understand how we'll ask the questions to the model. And once we understand how to ask the questions to the model, we need not to develop the code. Okay. So what are the skills we are looking? We are looking the uh, coding, and that coding is related to the Python. Now, why Python? Because Python has like many benefits: easy to learn, readability, large standard library, high productivity. It also have community support, Versatility means it is in website, in backend, and in logic. All like it's a full stack product. Okay. Then data science and machine learning. For machine learning and data science, best fit is like Python. There are other language like R is also one of the popular contested, but Python is more popular because Python develops with time. Then integration and extensibility. We can add more data, more functions, more logics, all those stuff we can do. Then also we can have web development, automation and scripting. And the final one is it is open source. So no need to buy any license or anything to work for Python. You can go download and install in your system, start learning. Okay. So if you don't know, you can go today, start from scratch, use the GPTs and models. They'll explain what to do. Okay. Use web interfaces, APIs, documentation if you want to learn more about the Python. Okay. Now let's move on again back to our process. What is that is prompt engineering or prompt methods. So when OpenAI, GPT is a general pre-trained transformation model. So GPT. Now, when we are using GPT like GPT-4, so the basic prompting includes instruction questions, input data, examples. The first two elements, instruction and questions, are mandatory. Okay, whereas input data and examples are optional. So when we are started doing the prompting, you can understand two major things. This whole GPT process holds 1.831 trillion parameters. Okay. So like if you ask what are the parameters a human being has, they can say, okay, a human being has features like internal features, sectional features. But the GPT, which is integrated with multiple data sets, multiple elements, multiple data libraries, and multiple large set of data, it holds 1.831 trillion parameters. So only the parameters to filtering out all these information and giving the exact information, it has 1.831 trillion parameters. Now, all these parameters get filtered out, filtered out, filtered out. Okay. So like when you see, let it be you see a cat. Okay. So when you see a cat, your brain immediately say that it's a cat. Why it is saying it is cat? Because your brain is trained to identify that's a cat. Okay. You can see, okay, it's just small in size. It has some particular features, how it looks, what is the color. Okay. But behind that, there are a lot many filters in our mind. So in our brain, there are more than, uh, we say more than 30 billion filters, okay, which is very high in number. Whereas currently the prompts or the language models, they use 120 layers. Okay. So probably a day will come when we are targeting to filter out more things with more layers, maybe more than billion. So currently 120 layers are there for 100 and 1.831 trillion parameters. And through this process, from the top to bottom, around 55 billion filter data will be removed. Attenuation, that means each time at each layer, the iteration is happening and it will come as filtered out and come to us. Now, why I'm telling all this? Because to appreciate the prompting, if you give correct prompt, it will give you the correct result. If you give a wrong prompt, it will give the wrong result. Now, when we are doing the prompting or the instructions, it should be very clear in nature. Context, example should be there. Keywords, if you are able to use, that is more important. If you want some emotional tone, also you can add that. So the prompting will be more effective. So first two elements, clarity of instructions, that is Magister. Okay, then be specific. We already discussed. If you are be specific, then you'll get the result very easily. Okay, context means in which area you will going to get the output or results. Questions and examples. Sometimes it happens that the prompt cannot be understand what exactly we are looking for. So we give some examples. Okay. Like directly ask what you want to know. For example, what are the benefits of a plant-based diet? Okay, so the prompt asks you questions, you have to answer. I want to understand what are the benefits of the um, uh, plant-based diet. Then if there are any open-ended questions, so then it will be more like if you want to get more information, you have to ask open-ended question. Let's see how it's work. So first is direct question. What is capital of Delhi? Sorry, capital of India. It's a direct question, close-end question. It will give New Delhi. But if I'll put how is Delhi as a city? So this is called open-ended question because Delhi, some people may say good thing, some people may say bad thing, but the prompt will give you more details. Okay, so it will give you the historical significance, cultural diversity, political hub, economic center, educational institutions, environmental challenges, transportation. Now, all these are modern and traditional blend. So whatever is the good part of Delhi and how it is mm, like as a city, it is explaining everything. But if I'll put a specific question, okay, or step-by-step instructions also be possible. Like first we ask the capital, then we ask about the city, or some examples or scenarios. Okay, so I want to understand what exactly the environment challenges in Delhi. So that is one of the steps. So are you getting bored or it's still okay? How many of you thinks that prompt engineering is easy? Okay, how many of you understand that prompt engineering is easy? Easy or difficult? So as I mentioned, we can ask the question step by step with examples, with scenarios. And then there are some examples like informational prompts. Like you have to give some keywords. Like in our case, we give a keyword that what are the environmental challenges. That is the keyword. And based on that, it explain around 6 concepts like air pollution, water pollution, waste management, noise pollution, loss of diversity, extreme temperature, and climate change. If you want to create some creative prompts, write a short story about a time traveler, or I can say write a story about Delhi. So this is a creative prompt. It will create something, story, story of Delhi. So prompt automatically generating based on whatever the data set it has, and it extract everything and give you a story. I can also ask that stop that within 500 words, but okay, let's complete the story. So that is a creative prompt. Technical prompt. If I'll ask now, technical prompt explain like codes or healthcare part, and you can ask, okay, develop say a code to add two numbers. Okay, it will immediately generate a code and share with you. Okay, so that means you need not to think how to code. It will develop everything and give to you. You just use that. Okay, then it is explaining that code. So this is what we called the technical prompt. So now these prompts need each time refinement. It needs keywords. Okay. Now in case of text prompting or text output, so prompts are for different uses. Text to text, then text to image, text to music, text to you can say painting or images again. So there are 5 type of major prompts, okay, or text to coding. Now, all these type of prompting is useful for different segment, okay. Similarly, there are advanced techniques to do the prompting, like role play, conditional statements, multiple prompts, okay. So these advanced prompting also useful to identify the specific task and get updated the specific task and make it done from the system. Okay, so here there is a question it is asking a specific question, which is what are most popular programming language? Okay, what are most popular programming language? Now, if I put a particular year, so that is more specific. Okay, so specific, then I ask programming. So this is the prompt for 2024 popular languages. Now let's see what are the GPT saying. So it says first number one is Python, number two is C, number three C++, number four is Java, then C Sharp, then JavaScript, then Visual Basic, Go, SQL, and Fortran. Now Fortran is outdated. Still, it is used in some major companies who have mainframe. But at the top, Python, C, C++, Java, all languages are there. Okay.
So hope you enjoyed our today's session. If you like our video, then do like, share and subscribe our channel.